What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome back to the Casually FC channel. Today, me and Andrew, and maybe more panelists, will be reacting to Rabona TV's interpretation of why Liverpool have been doing so bad. And for those of you who do not know Rabona TV, he is an awesome content creator, talks about all things football, not just the Premier League. He does very informed and well-studied video essay type of content. So if you haven't checked them out, check them out. But it'd be interesting to see his view on why Liverpool has just been so shit lately, for lack of a better word. I think it's been a question that all of us have been curious about, seeing the complete downfall of Liverpool. I think most of us think that Liverpool are gonna be okay at the end of the season. I don't know if you share that sentiment, Andrew.
I couldn't give a flying doodah, really, as long as they're below us.
Fair enough. I don't really care either, but it's just so fascinating for me to see how this team that last season won 2 trophies off the back of our hard work, of course, and ended up challenging for the Prem till the very, very last game. And now they're sitting pretty at 11th. Actually, let's check this real quick.
Yeah, they are. They are at 11th. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. So I just had to make sure. But yeah, they're at 11th place. And so it's crazy. We're a quarter of the way through the season. And maybe even a third, to be honest. A quarter of the way, I'll say. And yeah, they're not doing so hot. So we're going to be reacting to Rabona TV's video on why Liverpool are shit. So let's see what he has to say about it.
Liverpool have been very poor so far this season, far from the team that they are capable of being at the very least. This has Liverpool supporters scrambling for answers. Is it the sale of Mane? Well, I mean, pinning all of Klopp's success on one player is a bit generous to the man and not really grounded in reality, in my opinion.
Is it generous? Because you could make the argument that their squad depth was never that great. And so when you're missing a pivotal player like him, it could be pretty detrimental, right? I don't know.
They're always, it's like any machine.
Mm-hmm.
You take a part out, a vital part as well. What are you then putting in? Is it the same?
Yeah.
Is it different? Because let's say if a car, you change the carburetor or whatever part of the engine, it's never going to be the same as the other engine. It's going to be new, but how well would the other parts react to it? You know?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it's being generous. I think it's kind of realistic considering Liverpool's depth. And I never realized how big of a part Mane played into the team. But I think I guess you can say that Mane leaving isn't necessarily the problem. It was part of a problem earlier in the season. But right now, Liverpool are scoring goals here left and right, you know? So goal scoring hasn't really been their issue. They've been struggling really bad at the back. And you could say that's in part because their best 2 midfielders, Thiago and Henderson, are constantly injured. I guess we'll say why we think. We'll dive into the video, but I think Henderson and Thiago constantly being in and out of injury, being their main, and Fabinho too, being their main midfielders, constantly being injured. One of them being left out at certain points throughout the season. I think that hurts him a lot. And so, yeah, not having that depth, not having Gini Wijnaldum in that team anymore, all these players, I think it does hurt them. All right, I guess we'll continue.
Is it because of their defense? Or perhaps it's something similar to what happened to Mourinho in his 3rd season. The talk of Klopp's 7th season curse is starting to make the rounds as well. So is it a curse, or is there a far more rational reason as to why Liverpool are struggling? In this video, we'll provide you with both points of view. The superstitious and the non-superstitious are all welcome here. I'm Adrian, by the way. If you find yourself enjoying the content, then do be sure to subscribe. it's October, and in October we will humor curses as we have done in the past with videos on Benfica's supposed Bella Gutmann curse, the 7 dead cats of Racing Club, etc. Throughout the rest of the year, we don't touch them, but given how some believe in this 7th season Klopp curse, why not at least go over it in a month that befits the topic? On top of that, with how Liverpool have been struggling. So, what is this curse and why is there one massive caveat surrounding it? Well, it was first discussed while Klopp was back in Germany, as people began drawing parallels between his time at Mainz and his time at Borussia Dortmund. While at Mainz, Klopp achieved some incredible feats, namely getting the club promoted to the Bundesliga for the first time in their history in 2004.
By the way, I do want to point out, I think it's pretty fair to say, at least I believe this, I think Klopp is a great manager. I by no means am here to bash him or pretend that he's a shit manager, and that now we're seeing what happens when these managers get exposed. I'm just gonna go out there and say that. Like, I don't know about you, Andrew, but personally, me, if the opportunity to have Klopp at Chelsea presented itself, I would give it a good amount of thought. I would not say no immediately.
I think it would. I'd have to think of his circumstances. Like, if you're asking me, say if we didn't have Potter and Klopp was being linked as he is right now, I might have reservations because I think he's on the verge. If he's not already, I think he's showing signs of burnout and major frustration. Can I just say, Chelsea OG, you're my guy and everything, but you should never want Liverpool to win anything. Okay, I'm just saying. You want City to win, bro. You don't want Liverpool to win whatsoever. You don't want them to start a momentum or something like that.
This man is a saboteur. He just wants to throw a wrench into the whole thing.
Yeah, shouldn't do that, bro. Always Liverpool lose. Always Liverpool lose. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It will all depend on the situation, really. Like I say, you can see by his recent press conferences and everything like that. I'll send you the link, Kai. It's all right. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think, but you can tell by his recent press conference, even like yesterday, he's getting very snappy. It's just, like I said, he's not a shit manager. That's stupid to say he's a shit manager. But I think there's something into this 7-year thing because it's happening at 3 clubs now. So,
So he was at Mainz for 7 years before he did Dortmund 7 years?
Yeah.
Wow, I probably knew that, but I forgot. That's crazy. Managers that get 7 years. I just don't know. I'm not used to that. The managers at Chelsea usually get like 2, at most 3 years.
7 months.
Yeah. So some of them just no time at all. It's crazy, man. It's just found him.
Yeah, hang on. Where is it?
No worries. If anything, let's I'll continue playing the video.
4. I know, shut up about other videos that I've done, but I have one on Klopp and how he went from a player manager to the full-fledged manager of Mainz back in the day, as well as where he got his inspiration for his coaching philosophy from. It was from a little-known manager named Wolfgang Frank. Well, not so well-known outside of Germany, at the very least. He overachieved with Mainz, of course, which is something that needs to be remembered for much of his career, really. Just getting to the Bundesliga alone made him a legend of the club, but upon...
Would you say he overachieved for Liverpool too?
You can say that. See, what I like to do in Liverpool, I like to separate the fans and the actual club. If you heard the fans, this guy he can turn any player into a diamond. He can do this, he can do that. They're the best.
Yes.
In every position, they have the best player in every position in the world, or they have generational people in there. There is an argument. There is an argument to say he's maybe overachieved going against City. I mean, he's run them down twice the last day of the season for 1 point and two title fights. Won the European Cup against Spurs, whatever you want to read into that. Yeah, there's an argument. I think there's an argument. There is an argument, but then you factor in the stupid fans. So, sorry, they're arrogant fans. You factor in the arrogant fans.
Very arrogant.
And then because of them, I sort of take it away from him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, this one. Kai's here now. All right, Kai.
Hey people, how
Okay.
you guys doing? I'm good. Just rainy ass Friday with nothing to watch. No, not even. It's crazy how
Saturday.
not even one league has good football today. It's all a bunch of like
No.
bottom feeders playing against each other, man.
Yeah, that's why we're here. Kai, I'll ask
the
you
weather
the
is crap,
question.
too. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I'll ask you the question. Do you think Klopp overachieved at Liverpool?
Overachieved, yes, massively. I think it shows in the last 30 years or something. They won one Premier League and one Champions League. And two Champions League, and one of those Champions League came from Klopp. One of those Premier League came from Klopp, and other trophies as well that I can't be asked to mention, like Capital Cup. And have you won the FA Cup or not? I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably
he won them both last season. Remember, we played them in the final.
Yeah.
True, under Klopp as well.
So yeah, you can't say it's not impressive considering the fact that Liverpool is literally before he overtook them was like a top 7, top 8 in the Premier League. It wasn't really a top 4 year in year out team, you know. And a lot of Liverpool fans like to kind of, like just, not admit it. They like to look over that and overlook it and whatever. But I think this season it's been like the 7-year curse, I like to call it.
Oh, so you believe the 7-year curse too?
Doesn't mean if I believe it, it happened on 2 different occasions. It's not like if I believe it or not. I look at facts, man. That's what I don't care about emotions. Everybody have emotions, man.
One's an occurrence, two's a coincidence, but 3 times that's a pattern. That's a pattern, bro.
Yeah, that is a little strange.
That's what Tuchel's got, falling out with the ball.
I would say that. Bring him home. Bring him to the bridge, bro.
So you would want Klopp?
Club football at the bridge. Don't gas me.
At least it will last 7 years,
bro.
At least it will last 7 years.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm happy with Potter. Jokes aside, I'm happy with Potter, man.
Yeah, I'm happy with Potter too.
He might be a 7, a 7.5, but he treats us well. So it's
he's dressing well though, Kai, isn't he? He's dressing.
Yeah, he is
That
dressed. He's
turtleneck,
very
man.
dressed. He's trying. Like all
very
7s,
sharp-dressed
trying
man.
his best.
Very, very West London.
Good enough.
Very West London.
Yeah.
The turtleneck.
Did you see the guy? He got a fade from a guy that all like most people like go to,
Yeah, I saw
footballers
that,
go to, and it's funny. He gave him a fade. I'm like, bro, you're a little bit too old for a fade, but it looks good.
Oh my days! All right, let's see if Adrian explains the 7-year curse thing.
On his 7th season, he was relegated back down to the second Bundesliga.
That sucks.
Now, the one issue here surrounding the curse was that it wasn't his 7th full season. His first season in charge, where he went from player to player manager to manager, he only oversaw 12 matches. Technically, his 7th full season was with Mainz in the second Bundesliga, the 2007-2008 season, in which he decided to resign as he could only reach 4th and failed to get promotion. The timelines for the 7th season curse are a little bit blurry, as you can see, already. But not so blurry at Borussia Dortmund, at least. You all remember what he managed to achieve with that club. He catapulted them to the top of the Bundesliga for 2 consecutive seasons, a huge achievement considering he was up against the monolith that is Bayern Munich, a side that the Bundesliga is still trying to come up with answers to the question of how to best them. Klopp was the last manager to do so, and he even managed to go to the Champions League final with Borussia Dortmund, where he lost to none other than Bayern Munich, of course. What a pain in the ass, eh? The following season, the 2013-14 season, they had a middling campaign, losing the DFB Pokal final, finishing 19 points behind Bayern, dropping out of the Champions League in the quarterfinals, and winning the Super Cup. But solely winning a Super Cup is nothing to hang your hat on when assessing how your season went. The next season, however, Klopp's 7th was a nightmare for them. The 2014-15 season saw Borussia Dortmund going as low as last place in the Bundesliga as of February.
God damn!
You know what's crazy though? You know what's crazy?
That is a fall from grace.
Yeah, it's one of the worst years for Klopp and one of the best years for Chelsea, man. We won the Premier League in such a fashion. We were first from August till next August, man. It's amazing, man.
Jesus Christ, dude. That is crazy. Do you think that's going to happen to Liverpool? I hope it happens to Liverpool.
Yeah, it's happening now. It's already 9th game of the season. They're 11th, man.
Peter, right? And Peter bought this. Peter, right? Petros.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So he brought up this stat, and he said the last 2 or 3 winners of the Charity Community Shield have finished 8th. Like like new one that haven't been City, obviously, have finished 8th. So he's like Arsenal won it and Leicester won it, and they both finished like 8th or something like that. So he's hoping that Liverpool finish 8th.
I don't think he finished the season at Liverpool, to be honest.
You don't think he's going to finish the season?
If he keep going the way that he's going now, and he's just an open book, every time a journalist asks him a question, he's just like rants. I don't think he's gonna keep the season.
He will never get. He'll walk. He won't get sacked. He'll walk.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, I don't see them ever sacking him ever.
Wow.
You know, there's always an assistant position
ahead,
open from Chelsea, man.
Assistant position to Graham Potter of all people. Oh my days.
Maybe you'll be the new sporting director, Kai. Yeah.
Imagine the assistant coach won a Champions League and the coach. Oh my days, that'd be something. That would be something for real. But I was gonna ask you guys, whoever saw the press conference. I only saw the title of it. I never actually got to watch it. But did he actually say that other football clubs have financial backing? And
he only mentioned 2 clubs, though. He mentioned City and Newcastle in his example, but he said there's 3 clubs, but he only mentioned 2. I was wondering, are we in that club or is it PSG? Like, who is that third club?
I think it was something about like, they've got higher ceilings or something like that.
About Newcastle. Or whatever. But this motherfucker, he spent more on that Nunes guy than City spent on Haaland, man.
That's true.
It comes across like, they're like.
They're the underdog.
They built their own club from like.
You know what it's like, Andrew? It's like that rich kid who tried to argue with you had a hard life. You know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had a hard life. Yeah, I could, my butler could only my chauffeur
could only afford the white Mercedes. I wanted a black one.
Yeah. Oh man, it didn't have this solid gold watch I wanted. You know what I mean? I had to get these other 12. As it says, it's really pathetic, man. The underdog, this stupid underdog story that they built was such bullshit. Such bullshit.
Not underdogs, man.
It is bullshit. It is. All right, let's continue, boys.
February 4th. They eventually finished in 7th place that season, crashing out of the Champions League in the round of 16, losing the DFB Pokal final for the 2nd consecutive season. But they won the Super Cup again.
That almost kind of reminds me of Tuchel in a sense, but not really. I mean, I don't know. This is 7th place for Bundesliga.
This is more of an
Borussia
underdog
Dortmund. It's
story.
not good.
The Borussia Dortmund's more of an underdog story.
Yeah, for sure.
Against Bayern, I know Bayern may not be. They're still Bayern. They're a financial power in the Bundesliga. That's more of an underdog story. That's more impressive to me. You know what I mean? Doing this now, what he's doing now. Victim. I think victim mentality. That's right. Always the victim. It's never your fault. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Real Chris in the chat as well. Big up, Real Chris.
Big up Chris's dog. He's recovering. Chris's dog is recovering. Big up Chris's dog.
Good. Yeah, get better, Chris's dog.
Get better,
It's
Chris's
crazy
dog.
how Chris's dog is more famous than actual Chris, man.
Yep.
He's more likable though, Kai. You think about it.
I don't even know what Chris looks like, man. Chris could be a hologram.
Yeah, we don't even know what Chris looks like. Yeah.
I think Chris is. That's what Chris, I told you, man. Chris is wanted. He's got like warrants out for him. That's why they're
When I think to myself, I like Chris. I remember I don't like Chris. I like the idea of Chris. I don't. I have never seen Chris.
Yeah.
He's a man of mystery.
We all like the idea of Chris.
He's a man of mystery, isn't he, Kai? He's a man of mystery. Chris is not even his real name like that. That's what he just says. Real Chris. He's not even Chris. He's something else.
It could be a Christopher. It could be a Christian. You never know.
Christoph.
It's only real Chris because he's projecting. He's trying to
it's deflecting.
believe.
That's what
Yeah. He really wants to believe he's real Chris, so he puts it in his name.
Yeah.
All right, boys, let's continue.
We say it all the times to believe.
All right, Chris, jump on in 5 minutes then, man. But all right, let's continue the video.
Yeah, let's go.
A dreadful season, and despite Klopp having recently signed an extension until 2018 with Borussia Dortmund, he resigned, saying that the club needed a new direction, essentially. Quote, "I really think the decision is the right one. This club deserves to be coached from the 100% right manager. I chose this time to announce it because in the last few years, some player decisions were made late, and there was no time to react."
Wait, hold on. So, what year was this? 2014?
I think he was referring to the Hummels. To the Hummels one.
2015.
And then, yeah.
That's
Is that
crazy.
the year that they lost Lewandowski? Or...
No, they lost him in 2014.
Okay.
But
they
they
did
lost.
lose him.
Remember they lost.
I think that
Goats
was the
year-
season. Yeah,
They
the
lost,
results.
Remember they lost
Yeah,
Goats the year before to a free transfer, and they lost Lewandowski to free transfer.
I think it
they
was
lost Hummels
Hummels.
to a
I
free
think it's
transfer
Hummels,
as
yeah.
well. Lost all their big stars to free transfer. That's why they're
oh,
learning.
that's
right
unfortunate.
Now, you know.
But Belvis shot.
He's got a Napoli. He's got a Napoli. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace.
Luckily, I'm loaned to Napoli. Oh my God, Belvis Sean. Big up Belvis Sean.
You're a disgrace.
The ex-Liverpool supporter.
Oh my God.
But no, but I was trying to point out, that's crazy that he, after the 2014 or before the 2014 season, he signs an extension for 2018 and resigns 4 years before he completes his contract.
keep
That is
telling you,
absolutely nutty.
Contracts mean nothing. Kai knows this. They mean nothing, right, Kai?
Yeah.
No, they mean nothing. You know
Especially
what I mean?
managers, you rarely buy them out of their contract anyway.
So if he resigns, does that mean that he walks away from the money? Borussia
Yeah,
Dortmund kept
there's big clauses. There's different clauses. If you get fired,
That's crazy.
you get a payoff.
Mhm.
That is
You
the
haven't made
biggest
a
cup
decision
I've
if you
ever seen,
resign.
Marshall. I can't even see your face when you drink, man.
It's a
What is
big
it with
old
you
cup of
Americans
tea.
with giant coffee mugs, man? What
The
is
soup
this?
cup.
Blame Friends, okay? Friends who started it. Stupid show.
Yeah,
I'll be there for. Okay, I'm done. But yeah, that's absolutely nutty. Andrew, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry, interrupted you
no,
there.
I think Kai brought up. It's like they kept losing all their big players for nothing. It was ridiculous, and I know they bought in a load of players like that, but I think that's what he got upset about was that they bought him in and they didn't really replace him. They have been doing. They actually really started doing it after he left. Like starting to
But
bring in.
That's a Dortmund way how they generate money.
No.
Now they
are. Now they are. I think they learned from all these players that kept going to Bayern for free.
Yeah.
After like Klopp left, they kept they knew. That's when I think their scouting really started to pick up. You know, so I think they learned from that. And maybe you were sick and tired of losing all his best players every summer. You know, and not replacing them.
The other thing too that I find to be
I can't wait for the
funny.
City game, to be honest, man.
Yeah, me too. This club deserves to be coached from 100% the right manager. Didn't Tuchel take over after Jurgen?
He took over. Yeah,
And Tuchel actually beat his winning rate for that season.
Yes.
But he still didn't win the league.
Big up Tuchel. He's the right manager. He knows exactly what we need.
Then Tuchel left with the same fucking problem because the board is this board is not real people, man. It's not real, man.
Yeah,
PSG
pretty much.
And Arsenal, Chelsea, yeah. But no, but remember, I think
look who showed up.
I think here he is.
It's Chris, or is that? I don't know.
Apparently not Chris.
Apparently not.
should
Chris.
Chris, are you Christian or Christoph? What's your name?
Christopher.
Christopher, okay. It's not Christian.
Why don't you change one of your Twitter handles to that then?
I don't know. I so far I just have uncancelable.
Why don't you put
real
yourself
Christopher.
real Christoph? Do that one.
Real Christopher.
Yeah, because everyone calls you Christoph.
Everyone calls you.
No. I didn't say again. I didn't say everybody. I literally have one of my mates who call at me, and literally my mother used to call at me as well a lot. So
yeah, one of those. One of my mates did it. Yeah.
Christoph the Third. Christoph the Third.
Yeah, Christoph.
okay.
Christoph.
Yeah, like why? I don't know why it's like unheard of. Like I have literally Christopher in my name.
No, it's just that you never said it until we were linked to.
Yeah, because I don't think I really need to.
You know why it doesn't make sense, Chris? Because why, if someone was too lazy to say your full name, why would they go all the way to Christoph and not just stop at Chris?
You say
this doesn't make
they,
sense.
like a lot of them do it. Mostly it's just Chris, but like Christoph has been said a few times.
Like if I didn't want to say Andrew, I would say Drew. I wouldn't say Andrew.
I say Andy.
Right, you say that, Chris. I'd punch you in the face.
Andy sounds like Andrew, the drug dealer, man.
I'll tell you what. First of all, I'm not a teenage girl, and neither am I an American. You know what I mean? That's
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my days.
I just call him Chrissy. Chrissy. I'm gonna call him Chrissy Chris from now on. Chrissy.
There you go.
I've been called
There you
Chrissy
go.
Pissy before, but yeah.
No, I'm not gonna do
Uh,
that.
That was
That's
that
not
was,
my
a, that
personal.
was a medical issue, Chris. No.
I don't support bullying. I don't support
We'll
bullying.
react to that
Why you
medical
laughing?
issue another day.
Kai doesn't support bullying because he enacts it. That's why.
Is this some sort of roast for me now? Like,
Well, yeah, you showed up late, so let's continue, boys. Let's continue.
That's outrageous.
I included
I'm
that last
having
bit
that.
because, of course,
What'd you say, Andrew?
That's outrageous, Belvashane. You
Hmm.
turncoat.
Androlina.
That's
Andrew.
outrageous.
it was in reference to losing players such as Mario Götze and
Oh, there you
Lewandowski,
go. Well, you
and
guys
never
said.
really recovering from it, which certainly contributed to the downfall. Hey, or maybe he's cursed, just as some people believe that Benfica is cursed. And thanks to our sponsors for this video, Squarespace, we've added another great educational blog, a beautiful piece of journalism about Benfica. Right,
Yeah, shame
Adrian
the
the intern? Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. From creating your own incredibles easily, Rabona TV to save Adrian.
Sorry, we're not sponsored by Squarespace.
The highs
We're
of
not
both
gonna-
Mainz and Borussia Dortmund were followed by massive slumps, massive drops from
is horrible
where they
now.
used to be. And as of now, early in this season, the same could be said of Liverpool. From competing for 4 titles, competing in the Champions League final, coming just short of Pep Guardiola's Premier League point freaks. An unenviable task for Klopp to take on, by the way. But from that, they won 2 domestic cups, which is nothing to sneeze at, right? But now, 2 wins from 8 in the Premier League, sitting 10th in the table, having been scorched by Napoli, who granted are very good at the moment under Spalletti.
So that's another thing I forgot to mention. They did make the final of the Champions League last season too.
So they didn't win it. Next.
I know, no.
I can't remember who. But they did get to the final last season. But who do they really have to get to the final last season?
They beat Villarreal. They beat Benfica.
Inter?
And no, Inter was in the group.
Oh right. So
No,
they
no,
had
Inter.
one.
No, you're right. Inter.
They were the first stage of the
It
group
was
stage,
Inter,
weren't they?
Yeah, it was Inter. Yeah.
Yeah. They had
Hey,
really
but-
no one.
You listen. You get
Yeah.
to the final. That's fine. You then got to win the final. So you know.
There's nothing. Yeah, but like you said, yeah, they didn't win the final, and they had like an easy round to the final. It's like when England got to the semi-final to the World Cup. It wasn't that special. Like they had no one until literally Croatia, really.
Yeah, and
So,
you know what I mean.
mhm.
AC
They-
Milan left group. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did have the group of death. I forgot about
No,
that.
that wasn't a good. No, on paper it looked like a group of death.
It looked like yeah.
We've seen how far those 2 sides have fallen off. Atletico Madrid and AC.
Yeah.
AC Milan are overrated as fuck, as we have
Yeah.
seen this season. So-
They did win the Scudetto last season though, but I
They
mean,
did, but I'm telling you,
last season they were not that great either.
They're left heavy. You know what I mean? Stop Leao.
Or-
you stop Milan.
Or we are just underrated, Andrew. Think about that.
Whatever, Kai. I think, Kai, we've seen. Look at Juventus. Look at Juventus drop off. They're going to be in Europa.
Yeah, Juventus last on Israeli team, bro. So you know,
Yeah,
Juventus.
exactly.
Really?
Retire, man. Liquidate.
Yeah,
Liquidate
Juventus
the
are
club.
They lost to
really
an
bad right
Israeli
now.
team. How
Can I
bad do
just
you have to
say-
be?
Can I
They have
just say,
no
I
one.
don't even rate. I don't even rate
Chris, I don't even know one Welsh team, bro. What is it, Swansea?
TMS. Something
There's
like that.
Swansea, Cardiff.
Oh
I don't
my
even.
days.
I don't even.
So
rate
basically,
Inter-
the bottom feeders,
Inter
bro.
Milan,
The
though.
bottom feeders of football, you know.
But Inter
I
Milan,
see how
I
you
don't
feel.
even rate. So I don't rate Inter Milan.
I'm a sensitive guy, Chris.
Juve are in such a shitty situation because they don't have money, and even if they wanted to sack,
Allegri.
who's the manager again? Allegri. Thank you. I was about to say Ranieri. Even if they wanted to sack Allegri, they can't because they can't afford to pay off the rest of his contract.
Yeah,
Pay him with the rest of coupons, man.
They paid
They're stuck with him.
They paid £99 million for Ronaldo and all that stuff, and expected him to like bring them like Champions League success because they have one of the worst Champions League records. They, haven't
They
won it
blamed
for,
him for everything.
Yeah, they haven't
They
won it
blamed
for like 25
Sarri for
years.
everything.
Yeah,
The
They
real
paid-
person they should have signed.
They paid Aaron Ramsey $400,000 a week. Of course, they're in
And Ramsey's
financial
gone now,
trouble,
though.
man. Yeah,
The-
but
the-
they paid him for at least 2 or 3 years, Kai. $400,000 a week.
What were they thinking? Paying a Welshman 400,000, bro.
I know,
A
right?
Welshman,
What do you mean?
Bro.
That Welshman is the reason why they win Champions Leagues, not Ronaldo.
They didn't
And-
win Champions League, did they?
They didn't win
Who?
Ramsey.
In Real Madrid. Oh,
No, we're
Freeman
talking
Bale.
about Juventus. Pay attention.
No, I'm talking about Ramsey, bro. Bale, I
Yeah,
rate.
right.
I rate Bale.
I was thinking Bale in my head.
Get Bale out your
All right,
head, man.
boys.
He's not the only
I
Welshman.
did pull it up. So they went to round of 16. They played against Leipzig, which they won 2-0. on both legs, and then or not both legs. Yeah, both legs, and then they got eliminated by Real Madrid. So
Yeah, who's
there
that?
you go. That
Juventus?
was their season.
Who?
No,
Liverpool?
wait a
Who's that?
second. No, I'm reading this wrong. I'm sorry. This is not the right season. Fuck. Sorry. Ignore everything I just said.
You're talking about the season we won it. They got knocked out by Real Madrid in the
Yeah,
quarters.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I'm
got
trying
to,
to think
we
when they
just
did well,
spoke,
innit?
they got to the final.
That's
Well,
right.
the Premier
Yeah,
League
Villarreal, Benfica, Inter. Yeah, you guys are
Twitter
right.
account
Yeah.
is trying to hype up
Chris
this.
thinking Garfield on. Excuse me. Fake taxi.
Hey, yo, what kind of fake tax you talking
You know
about, bro?
what? Chris just gave an old man response. He went, "Excuse me," like that. He got offended. He just went.
Chris is the kind of guy who'd go on the fake taxi and still pays.
Kai said he told him to drop him off early. That's all. He doesn't still pay full price.
Yeah, I like to get off now. Yes.
Be like, maybe you should come sit on the road, not take off your clothes,
Oh my days. All right, boys, let's continue.
Yeah, let's go.
This season has been incredibly poor by their own standards, and their form harkens back to the early days under Klopp, where Liverpool were looking to leave behind their banter years and the banter players that came with that era.
Wait, let's look at the squad. I don't even this Lallana, Fabinho.
Who's this guy? Who's the guy with on the left?
That's Lallana, right? All the way to the left is Adam Lallana.
No, the bottom row. Who's that?
Oh, that's Sturridge. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, so that's the
James
Spanish,
Milner, captain.
Yeah, that's Spanish.
Coutinho.
Yeah. He went to-
Then that's about
I
as
forgot
much as
they
I
had
can
Chan,
recognize
man.
here.
I forgot they had
Yeah,
Chan.
Chan. Man, look at young Firmino.
Klein as well. Firmino.
Decline.
He looks like a child.
Decline. Yeah.
Who? Oh, Decline.
Or-
Yeah.
Is that's Torre, man?
Yeah, Colo.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
God,
days,
that
yo.
that team was awful.
The less talented.
That's pretty
Torre,
bad.
the
They
less
had a
talented
couple good
Torre.
players like Coutinho and Firmino, but
Their goalkeeper was so shite, man.
he had a great. I remember he had a great moments, saves and everything, and just went downhill. And then they got that German keeper. He had a great moment, and then it went downhill. Now they got Allison.
The guy all the way to the right looks like a Khedira, but I don't think that's Khedira.
No, it's,
I don't know who that is.
It's
Emery Chan, bro. It's Emery
Oh,
Chan.
that's Emery Chan. Wow. Okay, look at that.
Why did he even sign for Liverpool, man? He was better than them at the time, man. Wasted talent.
He was better than the whole team. Wasn't Sturridge their best player?
No, Coutinho or Firmino. I would say.
Continue. No, Continue was the keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Firmino.
Sure as hell wasn't Milner.
Milner.
Okay.
I didn't even
Captain
see Milner
Milner.
until there.
The problem is Milner's in the team photos now. That's the problem.
Yeah, he's a key player for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. He's been around for a very long time. Jesus Christ.
Adam Lallana.
And then bootleg James Madison next to him. I don't even know who that is. All right, let's continue, boys.
Yeah, that's the Spanish left back. I can't remember what his name.
Damn, none of them stayed, man. And Liverpool talking about spending money, bro. Shut up, man.
Firmino's the only one that stayed, and he's one of
Yeah,
their better
Firmino.
players now.
Firmino and Milner. Yeah.
Oh, Milner, true. Yeah. All right, let's continue.
They're not anywhere close to that as far as player quality, by the way, but just the form harkens back to that. Or alternatively, you could look at it like Liverpool's season where they lost Van Dijk, the 2020-21 season. Maybe that's more accurate. If you'll remember, the injuries to Van Dijk, Gomez, and even Matip had a massive effect on their season, forced midfielders to play center back, etc.
But even that season, they were performing a lot better than this season. This
Yeah,
season, they started off fully fit.
Yeah, they finished third that season.
Yeah,
went
they
on a
finished
run.
third that season.
Even with
But they
even
did
with
push
that-
in the end. They only started playing good toward the end of the season.
Yeah, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is they can't even use that excuse as a defense because in terms of like title race, fine, but they still finished third. They were on a good run. I mean, I know it took like a last-minute winner from Allison against West Brom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The header. Yeah.
That's fine. I
Yeah.
wouldn't call that a curse because part of the curse because if that was true, then Liverpool would be like they wouldn't even get to third. They could use the excuse going, we got so many injuries we couldn't even finish in the top four, but they did. So
Yeah, but even that season, I would be more sympathetic to them that season because they had injuries. This season, they had fully fit players. They've had Van Dijk come back. Joe Gomez was playing in the beginning of the season. Matip. They've had the fully fit squad. It's just the performances have been so lackluster. Yeah, I mean, they didn't have Mane, but the scoring doesn't seem to be the issue for them anymore. I don't even know if Jota, Velvishan, I'm sure you can attest to this, but I don't even know if Jota is really. He was out in the beginning of the season, but I don't know if he's been adding much to the attack. I think you guys have been doing just fine with the attack with just Firmino, Diaz, and Salah.
It's been a resurgence of Firmino so far.
I am so happy this
Yeah.
happened to them, though. Like, I'm so happy that they're failing. Like the way that they are, my days, man. If I'm having a bad day, I just look at the table and just see Liverpool there, and I just remember how dreadful and horrible and deluded their fan base is, and just put a smile on my face.
They got Man City next as well.
I can't wait for that game.
Can
I
they
hope
have to
Haaland does the
Imagine
yoga,
they have an upset.
celebration. Oh my days, man! That'd be
An
amazing.
Imagine they have
what?
an upset. That'd be crazy.
They're not
Imagine
gonna
if they
have to,
actually
bro.
win tomorrow. I don't think it's going to
They're
happen,
not,
but
they're not
imagine.
gonna win, bro. They couldn't
Dude,
even beat
imagine.
Arsenal, bro.
Dude,
Yeah.
if they get
There's
a
no
draw-
way
if
they're
they
gonna
get-
beat City, man.
If they get a draw tomorrow, it'd be an upset.
Yeah, even a draw.
Yeah, that would be an upset too.
I think a lot of Liverpool
have to
fans are
see.
like that because they
I'll
don't
say
want City
this,
to win it.
and
Probably.
the only chance I give them, and I still go to this, I still think records matter. City, I think, have won twice in the league in 20 years at Anfield. And they've had good sides as well, remember. Still, I know they got hard, and that's the difference, probably. But I just think records just play into it. But I still back City, though, to win.
Andrew's like, records were meant to be broken.
Well, dude,
And then
no,
Liverpool go tomorrow and lose 6-0, man.
Yeah, it's true.
No, Kai, because remember, like, when we played Tottenham, all this, and people, like, outside of Chelsea, well, him and Chelsea fans go, yeah, Tottenham are playing really well, they're going to go to the bridge and overturn you. I was like, bro,
I'm not. Yeah.
you don't understand the record. They won once in 30-plus years. Tottenham don't neither win or play well at Stamford Bridge. So you don't understand.
I'm not gonna say that Liverpool are not gonna win, but all I'm gonna say is, if there's any just power in the world, Liverpool would lose.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and continue this video,
They don't
ladies and
deserve
gents.
winning, man.
And a horrible winter period from January to early March saw them lose 8 of 12 matches and slump from first all the way down to 8th before settling into third to close things out. They went out early in both domestic cups and were eliminated by Real Madrid in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Not a season to remember. That's what happens when you lose all 3 of your senior center backs. They looked off. They weren't themselves in defense, understandably so, and they were a bit anemic in the attack as well, getting outscored by and finishing behind Solskjaer's Manchester United. However, this season, while they started out with a bit of an injury crisis themselves, they have been fielding names that are certainly recognizable. Gone are the Kabaks of the world. But in spite of that...
Oh, yeah. Remember that transfer? Fucking Kabak?
That was
And
a lot of
then-
garbage.
Once, man.
Yeah.
Kabak, and who remembers, what was that other player that they got? Preston? Whatever?
No,
The
it's
player from...
Some guy called Davies or something, I think it was, and he never played.
I have no idea, but he never played. Yeah, that was pretty crucial. I remember the Liverpool fans suffering during that January transfer window where they needed to reinforce at the back something, and they got Kabak out of it, who now plays for what team? What team is he playing for now?
I
can't remember.
He got
Schalke?
relegated. Got relegated
think
in
he's-
Norwich last year. So.
And then he went. Okay, I think they got him from Schalke, and they got relegated with Norwich. But all right, I'm gonna add Velvishan. It'd be interesting to have a Liverpool fan's perspective on this video. So Velvishan, how you been, brother? I know how you've been, but how are you feeling now?
It was a nice day in the morning. I woke up feeling, you know what? I feel very happy. And then I'm
Until
like,
tomorrow, right?
then I'll scroll through Twitter. I'm like, cool. I want to see what's going on. Then I see Konate not in training. I was like, okay. Then I scroll down saying Konate has a minor injury and we're not going to play him tomorrow. So I'm like, well, that's fucking fantastic because we're going to either see Nat Phillips play tomorrow or flipping James Milner play tomorrow. So yeah, great time to be a
Centre
Liverpool fan. No, right back. I'm playing Gomez at centre back.
Velvish.
Okay.
I have no issue with you, yeah, personally, but I hope your sorrow and pain continues.
Yeah,
Hey,
just-
Velv, you know if Everton get a point tonight against Spurs, they go above
Yeah.
you.
yeah, I've already predicted they were going to draw, so they're obviously going to be.
Marshall's not liking that.
You'll be down to 12.
Hey,
Marshall,
no,
which,
I'm not
which
liking
player do you
it
have on
for
your
Velvet
fantasy team,
Sean,
bro?
because no, I don't, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, as a rival, like from a rival's perspective, like it feels bad enough right now that Spurs and Arsenal are above us. I can't imagine being a
Spurs ain't
Liverpool
above us.
fan
Oh, yeah,
sitting in 11th place and
Hey,
having
listen,
Everton
Marshall.
of all teams, Everton above you.
Sky Sports had to do a top half with 11th in it, bro. Name me a side where they showed the top half with 11 teams in it.
I didn't see that.
You not seen that?
Nah.
They showed the whole table, including Liverpool being 11th, and saying that's the top half. That's how shameless it's gotten.
Hey, they're gonna drop down
Right.
below Everton. Just watch.
Let's continue the video,
That's
boys.
not gonna happen, Chris. It's not.
That, in spite of having key players healthy for the most part at least, they have won 2 matches from 8. They're 10th in the table. They struggled against sides like Everton, Crystal Palace, and Fulham, whom they should be trashing when they're in form. And they're already 14 points off of first-placed Arsenal, whom they lost to recently. So is it a curse? Again, it depends how you look at the timeline. This is technically his 8th season with Liverpool, as his first season saw him replace Brendan Rodgers on October 8th, 2015. So while that was 7 years ago, he's actually in his 8th season right now, though you could look at it as his 7th full season with Liverpool if you want to believe in the curse. But for those who don't,
This should be fun to watch. Every goal conceded. Oh my days, Velvet Sean, you ready for this, man?
Open
He's
your eyes,
seen it
Velvet.
already.
Open them.
Yeah, thanks for having me on,
He
guys.
sees every
I'll see
game.
you guys in
Hey, listen, we're gonna have to stop Velv on the table, bro, with his eyes open. That's what we're gonna do.
We're gonna have to do like a Clockwork Orange with Velvet Sean. These are the goals you conceded this season. Oh, but you know what, Velvy? While you're here, I might as well ask you: do you believe in this curse thing? Like, do you think Klopp walks away? You think Klopp gets sacked? What are your thoughts on all this, man? You're the Liverpool fan or Napoli fan now, ex-Liverpool fan.
I don't think so, because for me, like this, what's happening this season, majority like the bottom reds, because we're not the top reds. Like the top reds are different people, but like we've been saying it for a while since like beginning of last season about the midfield, because the issue for me it's not been the defense this season. I know there's been defensive errors, but like this season it's just solely based on the midfield, not adding the quality and availability in that midfield, because you're seeing Fabinho, Thiago, as much as great how they are, they're injury prone players. So if they get injured, then we're screwed. And I think the second bit is due to Klopp's loyalty, not in like in the defense or attack, just mainly in the midfield. Like you keep on playing Henderson, who's has not been good this season. He's only had one good performance against Rangers, but it's against Rangers. But you can't just keep playing like these players when they're constantly going to let you down. Like in the Champions League final, I wanted Naby Keita to stop, but you decided to play Henderson because I want leadership. When throughout the knockout tournament, Naby Keita was far better than Henderson. He had performances where he outperformed Thiago and Fabinho, but because his loyalty, he's keep on playing Henderson and Milner. Like, it's just like I just only need one midfielder. 2 you can get like next summer, but just one midfielder, someone who can occupy that right central midfield, and that is available. But no, you didn't want to do it. People say it's FSG fault. I know FSG has not been backing Klopp in some sense, but this summer it can't be just all FSG. It has to be a bit of Klopp, just like because you literally said in the press conference, "Oh, I was wrong. You guys were right." So you were wrong. We needed the midfielder. You just only want Jude Bellingham, but we're not getting Jude Bellingham. There's like loads of midfielders available. Conrad Lima, he's even spoke out recently saying that he wanted to join us, but you didn't want to get him, and now it's your own fault. If you're not going to get someone, then you have to change something up.
And I guess my other question for you, Velvy, is did you guys ever really replace Gini Wijnaldum? I feel like he kind of just, one, he was very underrated for you guys, and 2, he kind of, left. You had Thiago the same season, you still had Gini, but I don't think you guys ever really replaced them. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, 100. Like, it's even saying with that season we didn't replace Dejan Lovren, and we got left with 3 centre backs, and that basically cost our title season that year. And same, like I know it worked last season a bit. We were fine for the quad without Genie, but you still needed to play, like, because last season worked because majority of our players were available. Like Naby Keita was available for 55 games last year. Thiago was available for a bit. Fabinho was available, so that's why it worked. But it's not sustainable. And when you're not replacing Genie Wijnaldum, who before just Henderson overtaking, he was our most used player under Jurgen Klopp because he's always available, and not replacing him is obviously going to be a massive downfall to us. And yeah, because I always say the best ability is availability. Like, this is why, like, for you guys, like, I don't particularly rate Kovacic. Like, I think he's a very technical player, but he's not available for you guys. So if he's not available, then how could I, like, go to him and say, "Hey," and because our midfielders are not available, I'm with Thiago. He's one injury away from me telling him to get sold. Because how could I trust you? Because I know you're a very good player, world class player, but you're not being fit all the time, man.
You know what's crazy? You say Kovacic, but I think like the biggest issue for us right now is N'Golo Kante, which
Yeah,
by the way,
N'Golo
ladies and
Kante
gents,
as well. Yeah.
by the way, ladies and gents, for those of you watching, Casually Chelsea will be on Monday, and we'll be reacting to the game tomorrow. So just so you know the schedule ahead of time. But yeah, I see where you're coming from, Velvishon, and Kante's been. We'll talk about it on a Monday for sure. All right, let's see what we
that was
want
nice,
here.
Belbishram, but let's see the goals you conceded, please.
So the last time we really spoke about Liverpool
Make sure
struggling was,
it's
of
not-
Can you
course,
put it
that
in slow motion,
aforementioned
Marshall? The
2020.
goals.
I don't think he's gonna actually play them because of copyright, but he'll do like a still thing. We'll see. We'll see.
Do you know what? I've already watched this video as well, because when I saw the title, I was like, "Oh, I want to see this video." Then
Always good to watch it again, man.
he
Always good to watch
basically
it.
explained everything that I've been attacked by the top reds for when I've been saying.
Okay,
about,
so you would say he's about accurate with his explanation about everything.
because about he would talk. I don't want to say what it is, but he would talk about it, like
Yeah. All right, fair. That's why I like Adrian, man. He does his research. All right, let's continue.
2021 season, where the injuries in defense caused a ripple effect throughout the squad, forcing players to play out of position, play in positions they aren't comfortable playing in, bring in youth players, bring in Kabaks, forcing them to look to players that weren't ready to feature.
You see how he added Kabak there?
Bro, I remember
Kabak, all right.
No respect. No, Kabak is actually killing it at the Bundesliga.
they were bigging him up when they got Kabak. I made fun of them. I think even I made fun of you.
You called him Virgil van
Yeah, they
Kabak,
brought
bro.
this
Virgil
Kabak.
van Kabak.
No.
This Gyros maker, bro. They're gonna play him in defense. He's horrible.
I remember a lot of the fans were hyped up about Kabak, man.
Liverpool rate every player that comes over.
It was called Virgil van Cabbage, man. We all know that. Yeah.
No, but to be fair, no, this season
He was called
he's
the
been on smoke.
Kebab Van Dijk, bro. That's what they called him. Man.
No, but
What
here's
team
the
is he
thing.
playing on, Velvishon?
He's playing for Hoffenheim right now, and he won 3-0
Okay.
yesterday. And here's the thing, like, I can't put all the blame on Carrick because he had to play with Henderson at centre back for majority of the time. Imagine literally like Thiago Silva playing with Henderson. Like, Thiago Silva won't be good. You'll be like, "Oh, what the fuck is this?"
I'd be pretty depressed. I'm not gonna lie.
He's literally gonna walk off the pitch. Like, yeah, he's gonna do what Mbappe did, just walk off the pitch.
All right, let's continue, boys.
So heavily for them, essentially. This season is different, however. The personnel and defense are all there, besides some Andy Robertson absences throughout. Alisson is in goal, not Adrian. And yet they are leaking goals at an average of 1.54 goals conceded per match as of October 11th. And off.
Yeah, that's not good. 1.5. I wonder what we were at in the beginning, because we weren't doing so hot in the beginning either.
I think
I
we
don't
were
think it
around
was-
1, probably.
1.5 goals per game. That's crazy. Absolutely no clean sheets for Liverpool. Fuck.
Often, those goals are conceded thanks to an attack down the right side of the pitch. I went through every match Liverpool have
No
played
names
up
mentioned.
to.
Sorry, what do you say, Marsh?
He said no names mentioned. That's what I said.
You say the right side of the pitch? Huh?
Yeah, he said the right side.
Huh? Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure. Fuck, how did I fix this?
Yay!
I fucked it up. Oh no, I got it. Here we go. All right, I wonder who he's talking about.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, just say the fucking name.
You said it. You said it, not me. You said it, not me. Okay.
Their loss against Arsenal on October 9th. And here's what I found. In the Champions League,
knew
we'll
he was
speedrun
dodgy,
this
man.
alone. They have conceded 2 penalties, from which they have conceded once. Both were against Napoli. Also against Napoli, 2 of the rest of the Italian team's goals came from attacks down Liverpool's right side. The other coming from an attack down the left that saw Zielinski float through the middle between Alexander-Arnold and Van Dijk.
Linsky.
Yeah. Did he?
Bro, he is throwing him under the bus.
So he was still down the left.
Look at this. Oh my days.
Defending,
Also,
oh
what
my
the
days.
Fuck?
Honestly, I think you should put Trent as a centre mid. He can't play right back. He doesn't even know how to play it.
Play
Like,
him right
positioning-wise,
wing. That's what you're gonna do,
He
bro.
does- doesn't know-
Disrespect.
I think
Wait.
they've tried that.
I don't
We
think they
haven't
have.
tried that, but the
Yeah.
problem is like it's due to his defensive. Like his only aspect of defending is his awareness. Like he is so terrible at it.
Ooh.
And I think him because
Spurs almost got
he's,
a goal, man.
he's not gonna go to midfield and like kill it straight away. It's gonna take time because when you're a midfielder, you need awareness.
That
Because you
wasn't
need to
it.
be aware of the players around you,
Mm.
like whether you need to do a defensive action or make a pass. That's why Trent in midfield ain't gonna work as people make it out to seem. It's gonna take a while,
Mm.
and that's why
I mean, the only option is right mid, but then you got no right back. I don't think.
we
That's
have
the only
we-
option.
we-
Simicast isn't bad.
He'd be,
Bro,
he'd be a decent right wing back.
I've
I've-
never saw the
He's a left back, Marshall.
overhyping of this guy.
No,
man. I've
but
never thought he's that good of a right back.
Simicast can play with his both feet. That's why I like it.
Ah.
He plays with both feet
Mm.
because he can cross with his left and cross with his right.
What
Yeah,
position
I
do you
spec-
think you guys are gonna finish in, Velvish? You guys think you're gonna get top 4, top 1?
I don't know.
What happened, bro? You lagging? Come on.
No,
man.
I think no. I think
I
we'll
don't think he wants to
finish-
think about it,
No,
bro.
no, no. I think they'll finish 4th only because I predict Spurs to have a flop season.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Ah.
if Conte walks out or
Yeah.
sabotages.
So if Conte walks out, that's when I think Spurs
To
will.
be
Where,
fair,
where do you think
to
Chelsea
be
will finish,
fair-
Velvish?
Oh, I think you'll finish 3rd.
Okay.
fair
No,
dues.
thank
That's
you.
fair.
Well, that's fair. Yeah. To be honest, though, like Velvishon's got a good point with Spurs. I think we were all fearing Spurs, and it's turning out they're
Ooh.
not as
Penalty to
good
Spurs,
as we thought.
No, free kick.
Free kick.
Free kick. Oh, Spurs game is on. That's true.
Actually,
Yeah, I
pretty good game
remember.
on
I remember
Spurs.
watching the highlights of this game and just seeing just how disorganized this defense looked like. I think this is Van Dijk, right? But what the hell is Van Dijk doing all the way over here? Like,
What happened? I think
Yeah.
after his injury, Van Dijk is not like his recovery isn't the same as it used to be. Before he could. like,
apparently,
yeah,
he's nowhere near as aggressive.
I
He's
think
basi-
it's been said that he is, and I don't believe this to be true, but maybe there's some foundation. The World Cup's coming up, and this is the only one he's probably going to be playing in. And people are suggesting, I've heard Liverpool fans even say this, that he's not putting in as much effort because he doesn't want to make a bad tackle and be ruled out for the World Cup as much. So,
It's
That's bad to think of it
It's
is.
basically the partnership, really. Like
yeah.
for me, the reason why I say him and Matip are our best partnership is due to like Matip doesn't have any errors to his game, so like they're both guaranteed to like have a good defensive performance. Whereas Konate and Gomez, like Konate is still young, so Konate can make like a few errors here or there, and that would leave Van Dijk basically exposed by himself. And I think with Matip, that's why him and Matip, there's literally no defensive errors between those two. Like even this season, reasons Van Dijk's been exposed a lot. I think a bit of elements of laziness, like particularly with that United game where not even attempting to block the Sancho shot and blocking Alisson. There's a bit of elements there, but I think bits of elements from Trent not doing his job. Like, here's the thing: when you're playing as a centre back and you've been asked to stay in your position, do your role as a centre back. When your right back is one-on-one with an attacker, you expect the right back to defend in that position. But because Trent has not done a lot that season, it's causing Van Dijk to think two minds, because now he has to cover his player and cover Trent's player. So I think that's where the issue with Van Dijk. That's why I give Van Dijk a bit of like leeway.
Can I say something about that? Like, you know, like how you're saying Van Dijk is covering for Trent, because I think a lot of like rivals and everything saying Trent can't defend for a reason, because you have like, you remember like Henderson had to cover for Trent a lot, and I don't think you played Henderson as much, and I thought Henderson did a pretty good job like covering from the right side when obviously when Trent was like upfield a bit.
But the problem with that, Chris, Henderson has not been doing that since last season. And that's where the anger's come in. That's why we've been begging for a right central midfield.
And your attack hasn't really been helping you recently. I mean, they've stockpotted against two teams, which is half of their goals came from.
In the beginning of the season, you'd be right, Hassan. But lately, they've been outscoring their teams and winning. So yeah,
Look,
I mean,
I'm gonna wait a couple
anymore
more
because
games.
Even against
Diaz
Arsenal,
is out now.
Yeah. But I think with Jota back, it's a big bit. Like, here's the thing: our attack has been getting better. Like, that's the only element that has improved. The midfield, like, since last season, Henderson hasn't been doing that role. And the game I always go back to is that Chelsea 2-2, where you guys were able to score from the right because Henderson was not covering Pulisic, and that's why you're able to get the balls to the left-hand side of your attack. And see, that's where the issue lies, because Henderson's not doing it wrong. The only exception is Naby Keita, because the reason it works with Naby Keita because his pressing is like top. Like, he will press the opposition very well, and that's why he's able to win the balls higher up in the pitch. So it doesn't matter like with his defensive capabilities because of his pressing. And you'll see it this season when he's not there and you play Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott, good attacker, but he's still young and he doesn't have that defensive capabilities to help. Because there's a stat that he's been dribbled past majority of the time because he's not covering for Trent, and I don't expect him to because he hasn't played that position a lot and he hasn't developed the defensive awareness. So that's where the issue lies.
Fair enough. I mean, you know, Chris, I see you, man. Big up. That was some good technical awareness to pick up on that Henderson.
Finish this video.
Yeah. Let's try to get to this video. Yeah.
I just put that
talk
point
about
out because
Liverpool's
Henderson used to help
downfall
out a
after
lot.
the video, bro.
By the way, this is Arthur's debut, by the way, and he's injured.
Oh my days.
How has Arthur been
Against
for you guys
Ajax,
anyway?
an attack down Liverpool.
I'm sorry. Kai, what'd you say?
I'm asking Velvich, like, how was Arthur for them?
Shit.
How long he's out for?
Saying that he's poo-poo, so I don't know.
No, here's the thing. For me, if you're better than Henderson and Milner, then I'll take him now. I wanted Granit Xhaka, so I'll take anyone.
Hey, Granit Xhaka's done really well this season.
Yeah, I know.
so-
That is sad, man.
Here's the thing. I was even begging for Ross Barkley to come.
Okay.
Begging for Ross
That's
Barkley.
low.
Stop it, Velvich. Come on,
Oh
man.
my
That's how much I
days.
hated that Henderson and Milner.
That
There's a reason we call it
is
the Brexit.
tough.
There's a reason why we call Henderson and Milner the Brexit brothers of destruction, because they're absolutely terrible.
Destructions for who, though?
Brexit brothers.
Destructions for who, though?
I don't know.
Self-destruction, that's how you should call it.
Destruction.
No,
Self-destruction, yeah.
you should call them obstruction, man. That's what you
Oh,
Wow.
I just call them.
All right.
I just call them Liverpool's Dumb and Dumber, bro.
There you go.
Let's go.
Continue.
I told him
Liverpool's
about
right once again, leading to a cutback to Kudus. They didn't concede in their first match against Rangers. So that's what we have so far. But in the Premier League, Fulham first. Mitrovic beats Alexander-Arnold to a header at the back post. Then later Van
That was a fun game to watch, right, Velvishon?
I was so gassed for this game. I was like getting so hyped. I was like, yes, we beat City in the Community Shield. We look sick. First game, Klopp doesn't play Nunes. I was like, cool. We got Firmino. I was like,
Dun, dun,
maybe,
dun, dun.
maybe Henderson will do fine. No, he doesn't. Henderson, there's a clip where he tries to control a ball and he almost falls over. And then next clip, he tries to tackle Mitrovic and just spins off and goes flying.
Velvich,
Yeah.
your tone changed, man. 2 years ago, like, or a year and a half ago, your tone was different, bro. Now you sound
Hey,
beat,
listen,
depressed, man.
He
some
I love
sounds
it.
people hit puberty late, man.
That's what
Oh,
happens
my
when your
days.
team is absolutely shocking. Like this game,
Well,
like,
listen.
it was we were all over the place.
It's like Jeff.
Look.
It's like Jeff Dunham when they told him that he's gonna go to jail, bro. He just accepted it. That's over now, man. What
Look,
the-
And we looked better when we bought on like Elliott and Nunes. Nunes basically changed the game for us here.
if I'll banter aside, it's just Trent. Obviously, he's going to get bullied by Mitrovic 9 times out of 10. It was bound to happen, but
And
just
11 times that.
for it to 11 times out of 10 for it to happen the way it did in the beginning of the season, and just I guess goes to prove all the rivals' opinions on Trent. So let's continue.
Dyke concedes a penalty. Crystal Palace, quick counter from Palace right through the middle as Phillips is outpaced by Zaha and the fullbacks are pushed way up the pitch. It was 2 defenders back there. Against United, Alenga slips behind, yes, Alexander-Arnold, and cuts it back to Sancho for the first one. The second was a giveaway from Henderson, as again the fullbacks were way up the pitch. A rapid counter from United, and Rashford scores. Teams are clearly learning.
I think
Against
it was Trent who gave the
Newcastle,
ball away.
Henderson's failed.
Say that again, Velpatron.
I think it was Trent who gave the ball, not Henderson. I think Henderson miscontrolled it, but it was Trent who tried to do the Hollywood pass that ended up turning it to attack, basically.
Turned out to a Detroit pass instead of
So
a
yeah,
Hollywood pass,
Rabona
bro.
TV, you're wrong.
Yeah, just put it on. Let's blame it all on Trent. Why not? Everyone does it.
Attempt at intercepting the ball, put it into the path of Longstaff, and he threads it through to Isaac for the finish. Brighton, it was deja vu, basically. All 3 goals came from attacks down Liverpool's right side. Alexander-Arnold losing his footing on the first one.
Oh my God, that goal! Oh, I forgot about this game.
Uh,
The game
I
that
forgot
Chaucer
about
got a
it.
hat trick.
I
Yeah.
genuinely feel bad for Trent because he's not helping himself. Like when it comes to debates or who's the
Yeah,
best
he's definitely
right
not
back,
helping himself. Look at
Bro,
him. Look at him. He's
literally-
right on the floor.
I don't feel bad for him. He tried to hook up with a pregnant lady who was married, man. Nah, man, that guy deserves
Jesus
this
Christ.
karma, man. This
Like,
is
you talking
karma.
about Will and E girlfriends, or
Yeah, he's a horrible human being.
no,
man.
no, no,
People
no.
are- I
That
feel
was a
bad.
prank. That was a prank.
It wasn't a
from
prank,
Will
man.
and
He
E.
got it wrong.
it was a
Prank,
prank
he
because
said
it
it, bro.
backfired.
It's not a prank.
It's
If it
basically
backfires, it's a prank.
Steven basically texted him and like, oh, can you text him? And then yes, what happened. But yeah, this game, yeah. Actually,
All the PR
I
for the
forgot
game,
I was going to say something. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Trent should just basically go on Twitter. Like, you see what Nunes is doing. Nunes just went on Twitter, saw the criticism. All right, cool. I'll score against Arsenal. I'll score against back to back.
bro.
That's what Trent should do. Look, go
No,
on Twitter.
Are you mad?
Look who's cooking you because you're not even improving your defensive ability.
Bro, Trent
No.
won't be able to defend
But
himself.
surely-
Never mind.
But surely, Val, like you have like people like Klopp and all that, and the coaches and all that, like are criticizing him and saying
Oh,
you're
don't
doing this.
bring the coaches. There's been a backlash, especially with the Pep Linders book that released in the summer.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh,
okay.
so who's that? Leander's guys that Hussam was on about?
Oh
I
yeah,
can't
so
remember.
now Linders is basically Klopp's right hand man.
Oh,
right-
so
right-hand man,
he's the
yeah.
yes man.
I wouldn't say yes man, because if he's a yes man, then we won every trophy possible. But for me, it's just like the book just brought confusion, basically, to the fan base. Like, yeah, I could just say the quotes. I don't actually don't want to say the quotes.
You
'cause
think he's gonna stay till the end of the season, Velvish?
I think he will, because I don't like. It's one of the, it's the first season where Pep Linders is being criticized. Like, if I could tell you one of his quotes, he said in this book, "Training is our transfers."
Oh, I've seen a lot of his quotes, man.
Our transfers?
He said, "Training is our transfers," and another quote is, "Pedri,
Jesus.
he's good. Pedri is good, but that's because Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott are not like thingy Spanish or like."
Oh my days, man.
Because they're not Spanish.
I don't know the exact quote, but something along that. I don't mind Pep Linders, but it's just like the book. You read it at the right place at the right time. If you read it before the season, then you don't have any issues. If you read it now, then you have a massive issue. So that's what I'm saying.
On your point about Trent going on Twitter, it's a double-edged sword. It could go backwards too. It could just get worse for Trent. It could just be demoralizing. So
We have no one to
I know
blame.
that's a
I'm literally
Yeah,
hoping,
you don't.
I'm literally hoping Konate is back because I need Gomez at that right back. Because what Gomez, he doesn't need to be a Trent that go forward and that. He just needs to do the basics of a right back. And you saw it against
Ending.
I know it's against Rangers. I'll even say against Arsenal. Even when he came on against Arsenal, we didn't even concede. We only conceded a penalty. That's it. So we looked much
Bro,
better.
how can you
with
lose to
Gomez.
Arsenal, man? Oh my, I would
No,
be.
I'll be real.
Kai, I wouldn't say
We've
this
been
yet.
we were poor, but there was some
Yeah,
dodgy
Kai, don't say
decisions.
anything, man.
There'll be dodgy decisions. Like their first goal was supposed to be flipping ruled out, and VAR came. Oh, we didn't rule out because we didn't see Saka. Like, what is that?
Let's go, man. Let's go. This video is taking far too long to complete, man.
6 minutes left.
Second, they picked their way through Liverpool's right-hand side with good incisive passing. And the third saw a cross from Liverpool's right elude Van Dijk somehow. And finally, against Arsenal, an attack through the middle sees
Oh, look at
Alexander
that.
Arnold get drawn in, only for a diagonal ball to be played into the space behind him for Martinelli to score. The second saw Martinelli unleashed down the left against Henderson, or Liverpool's right. Alexander Arnold slides over to stack up on Martinelli with Henderson, leaving the middle wide open, and Tsimikas alone with 3 Arsenal attackers.
God damn. Martinelli got the best out of Henderson and Trent. Fuck.
It's not difficult with Henderson. Let's be real. Marshall, you could possibly dribble past Henderson.
Probably, maybe, I don't know. Fuck.
Look,
But
you
look at
guys,
the
The one
defense.
question is,
Boys,
how
look
did
at
they
there's
not
3
expect a
Arsenal
cut-in?
players in there. That's crazy.
How did they not expect him to not cut in? I mean, that's the basics.
See, I don't know
I'm
what.
trying to think. Who is it?
It was
Matip.
Trent that was trying to
Who's
close
next
him
to
down.
Trent right now? Who's next to Trent?
That's Henderson and
Henderson.
Matip. That's
No,
Henderson
but
and Martin.
who's in the back line with Trent? Like, the lowest one below near Trent, because Trent.
Yeah. Are you talking about the one who behind Trent?
No, yeah, like kind of behind Trent. Yes.
Yeah, that's Matip. Oh no, that's Henderson behind.
See, I don't know why Henderson isn't pushed closer towards their middle, striker, whoever it is, and Trent could be pushing a bit more. I don't know why. Like,
Well, I think it's because in
This
the
is the
build-up
game.
play,
Yeah,
Henderson was trying to catch up with Martinelli, and then
it's just
Trent
really
was the
bad
backup.
positioning.
And then I guess Trent initiated a tackle, and he got played by Martinelli. It's crazy.
I just don't know how that badly positioned, and they're like literally playing for Liverpool. That's really
There's
bad.
three Arsenal attackers in the box right now.
Yeah,
It's
I'm just
absolutely
looking.
ridiculous.
Van Dijk is where the ref is. I think that's Thiago.
This is what I mean. There's one Liverpool defender with 3 Arsenal players there, and there's 3 Liverpool players with 1 Arsenal player.
Wait, I
Do you
don't
see the
get.
problem
Wait,
there?
I think that's Nunes. Why is Nunes tracking back? That's not supposed to be him. That's supposed to be either Diaz or Jota tracking. No, sorry, not Jota. Because
That's
he played the
so
number 10.
bad. That's so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
We must carry on because we can analyze every game all day.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
either
looking
Diaz
good.
or Nunes, but it looks like Nunes because one of his arms got like
Easy finish for Saka. And the final one was, of course, a penalty that Thiago gave up.
Yeah, let's
So
play
as you
porn
can see,
music,
there's a
yeah?
common
Fucking
thread
hell.
here.
That again, Babashon?
Yeah, they're playing porn music. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yo,
Okay,
yo.
let's continue.
Most of the goals Liverpool are conceded are coming from attacks down the right side. And we have seen big mistakes from someone like Van Dijk, who previously couldn't put a foot wrong. On top of that, there has been a few mistakes from midfielders to give away the ball at crucial times, launching a counterattack for the opposing team or redirecting the ball into the path of an opponent in a dangerous area, as we mentioned in their matches against United and Newcastle. Both times saw Henderson making that unfortunate mistake. So we're seeing players like Van Dijk, Alexander-Arnold, and Henderson. We're seeing their names come up a little bit too often. Alexander-Arnold's side of the pitch is getting targeted by opponents. And if I need to spell out to you why that is, well, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. We also have giveaways in midfield. We also have mistakes from the likes of Van Dijk and just general disorganization of them when they're getting caught in transition. Klopp has tried to help that by playing 2 midfielders in front of the back line, rather than just Fabinho, who had done so incredibly well in front of the defenders in the past. The issue is he is playing a seemingly mistake-ridden Henderson and a ball-progressing but light in defensive work Thiago in a 2-man midfield, which doesn't necessarily work against top opposition like Arsenal.
So, would you agree with that, Babashon? I mean, I think you said it earlier. You think pretty much Henderson is one of the root causes of this whole thing.
The problem with Henderson is when you try to play him in a pivot, he's literally gonna go forward, and that's not what you want him to do. Like, put a midfield of Thiago, Fabinho. Fabinho is gonna be the one that's gonna be staying back and helping out the defense. He's been poor this season, Fabinho. I think he's been burnt out because the amount of games he's been played is mad. and due to the fact that whenever he plays the two donkeys, Henderson and Milner, he has to do both their roles, covering for Trent while trying to cover the middle part of the pitch. So with the pivot, you need to play one. It doesn't have to be a DM or anything. It just has to be someone who is defensive minded. Like they'll stay back and help. Because when Fabinho, like put Fabinho and Thiago, when Fabinho does his role, Thiago can do his deep line playmaking abilities. But when you have Henderson next to Thiago, you won't see that. You only see glimpses of it, but you won't see it consecutively for 90 minutes. And that's where the issue is with Henderson. And here's me, I like Henderson, but he's getting old. He's declined. When you decline, you have to change. You need to change. Like, it's not like flipping Chelsea are playing like Bakayoko and Ross Barkley for every season. They had to switch things up. Like, you need to switch things up. You can't keep doing the same thing.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's continue.
It will do a job against Rangers or something like that, who aren't taking to life in the Champions League very well, but it's not going to work against big teams in the Premier League. So not only is your backline playing poorly, but they lack in any sort of cover. That's a recipe for conceding goals. No matter if you now play with two men in front of your defense or not. Just look at Juve, 4-4-2 merchants, and they leak goals like crazy. At the start of the season, their midfield options looked a bit thin considering the injuries they had. And that still stands, even with players returning. It looks a bit thin. And with all due respect, a team with Liverpool's ambitions shouldn't be seeing someone like James Milner on the pitch as frequently as they do. But overall, the team seems to be wrought with a lack of composure, or dare I say it, intensity. I know.
So, I mean...
that's the name of Pep Linders' book, Intensity.
So I would say fuck, what the fuck was I gonna say? Shit. Oh no. The whole midfield depth thing though, that wasn't just a thing that you guys had this season. That's the thing that has been an issue since like 2 seasons ago, I would even say. I don't know if you agree with that.
I think, actually, think about it.
Yeah, since Wijnaldum left,
It's
I think it's
basically
been an issue with the midfield.
Even going back to the injury season, we had quite a lot of injuries there. For me, like that season, Klopp didn't manage the midfield properly. Like he basically like so many wrong decisions, like playing the midfielders in defense, playing out of form players in there, and playing in-form players out of the team. Like there's so many issues. And last season we were lucky in a sense with the midfield because the midfield managed to stay fit. Like all of us, all the midfield managed to contribute something. Even Oxlade-Chamberlain contributed. So there's like our midfield was fit last season, but like I said, it ain't sustainable. There's gonna be injuries at some point again, and that's when you need to be prepared. Like
now, would you say that this issue with the midfield has always been there, but the intensity that was brought thanks to like Mane, Salah, the combination of players up top, you think that covered it up?
Not particularly, because like the midfield issue just only started happening recently, like last season. Like if you look at before, when our title-winning season, where our main three midfielders were Fabinho, Henderson, and Wijnaldum, and that was the most balanced midfield, and it worked. Then looking at last season, you get in midfield. For me, I still stand by the midfield. Our strong midfield is Fabinho, Thiago, and Keita because of the roles they do and how balanced they are. So when one of them is gone or one of them is injured or something, you need someone, a good enough replacement that could do their job. So if Naby Keita gets injured, which is basically you're losing ball retention in the midfield, you need someone in the midfield to cover that ball retention and do a job, basically. But the issue is when you have so many injury-prone players, you're basically relying on youngsters who are not fully there yet. Harvey Elliott, he can do a job, but he can't do the job the system requires. Do you get what I mean? Same with Carvalho. Carvalho can do a job in midfield, but he doesn't do what the system requires. So
What about Curtis Jones? A lot of Liverpool fans are bigging him up.
no, our fan base actually hates Curtis Jones. So I like him because for me, I always like big up ball retention. I think ball retention is one of the most important things you need in the midfield. Like that's what made Kante one of the best midfielders in the Premier of his ball retention. That's why he's able to help Chelsea win the Premier League and champs because of his ball retention. And Curtis Jones and Naby Keita, along with Thiago, are the only three midfielders who are capable of doing that job. But the problem is they're all injury prone. Curtis Jones has now become an injury prone player. He's keep on getting injuries, and there's been a suspicious theory going behind the scenes that there's reports saying that Liverpool don't even have a doctor. They don't even have a doctor available. I'm like, so what's going on?
I think we can relate to that. Don't think Chelsea have a physio at the moment, but we'll talk about that. Let's continue the video.
There's something we need to see behind the scenes in terms of these injuries, because before, when we signed these players, they were never injury prone. Like, there's obviously yeah, go on.
It's the side effects of the inhalers, bro.
Oh,
Half your team asthmatic.
Derailing the conversation.
So inhaler pumps give you ACL injuries. Cool. Cool. It's just like these players were never injury prone. The only exceptions are Oxlade-Chamberlain, because Oxlade-Chamberlain got injured in game.
You were saying Keita was always injury prone.
Keita was. I looked at his record for he only got like 2 injuries. He was never injury prone. As soon as he came in, he became like proper injury. Not so last season, but throughout his whole Liverpool career, he's been very injury prone. We managed to get our goalkeepers injury prone. Alisson has been getting injuries a lot. Kelleher, he's been getting injuries a lot. The only person who never get injured is Adrian, but that's because he's never part of our training. He only does light training because he's a third choice keeper. So there's something going on behind it. And it literally started in 1920, because that's when, after the title winning season, that's when we got the D medical team. And supposedly they came from Arsenal. So
all right.
You know what?
Let's continue. What's up, Kai? Go ahead, Kai.
This is a very sad stream, bro. Like, this is like a Liverpool confession.
Yeah, I actually kind of feel bad for Liverpool.
We're supposed to make fun of them, bro. Laugh at their pain, man. Not sympathize with them.
No, you know what it is? It's Velvish one, man. He makes us feel sympathetic.
Stopping after 30 seconds and get a fucking 30-minute unity on each point. Let's move on.
Let's continue. We'll try to finish.
If you do it with Redman TV, then you'll be like,
we used to be happy, but nowadays are difficult.
Yeah.
You know, the farms. We don't harvest as much as we used to. The nights are cold. The winters are so cold.
Yeah.
We can't even. It's such difficult.
I remember the days when the sun shone. Now there's just darkness.
Velvish.
Yeah.
I am happy what's going on with you guys. I am so fucking happy. Right now, you know what I'm doing right now, Velvish? You're complaining about Liverpool, and I'm drinking Costa coffee, and I got the pretzel with chocolate. It was amazing. And it's such a nice combination of satisfaction, bro.
Kai,
and,
you know what you remind me of?
Keep it going, man. Keep it going that way.
You remind me of that meme, man. The meme where the guy says, I dropped by to my hater's funeral to make sure he's dead, bro. That's you, Kai.
Bro, no, it's funny. It's funny because Velvet, like, you know, they used to be nicer times before. Now times are difficult, you know. The cows are getting skinny.
Sound like you're going through the Great Depression.
Unharvestable, you know. That's beautiful, man.
Let's try to
Kai's like in the background.
As soon as one Graham Potter stink up first, I'm be there. I'm gonna be like,
all right, let's try to finish.
Bro, we don't speak bottom of the table, man. We don't speak that, bro. We speak top. We speak top 10, bro.
Right. Let's go.
Intensity has become a dirty word for some in the football world, but what would you like to call it? Focus? I mean, we're all talking about the same thing here, because Liverpool consistently concede first in the Premier League. In fact, after facing Arsenal, they pushed their unwanted record of conceding first in the Premier League up to 10 in the last 12 Premier League matches.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is.
no,
It,
no,
it
stop
started.
it.
That's not a
I'm
good
not-
statistic.
Keep it
No,
going.
I had to stop it
God.
at this statistic right here. Look at this.
No.
Andrew, look at it. Look at it. Tell me it doesn't bring you joy.
What we do? I'm going to go through every single goal from Velvetron's point of view or something.
No, I'm trying to remember. No, because this was the
Yeah.
issues in the back end of last
I was
season.
joking. No, this
It was the issue. Bro, nah, you're wrong, man. It's not an issue, man. Say an issue, it means it's a bad thing. It's a blessing, bro.
It started against
So-
Gerrard. Yeah, I think it started against Gerrard. That's when it started happening.
Do you remember the
Oh,
bad
my
times?
so
days.
Gerrard
Val,
broke-
Oh
do you
no,
remember
no,
the bad
Spurs.
times?
It was
Do you remember
Spurs.
the bad times?
The bad times. Oh
Yeah,
when
the
Jack
bad
Bull-
times
oh, yeah.
of Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah, the bad times when Jack Bull starts to play.
Oh,
well.
listen,
That's when-
we don't want to
So
go
you're going
through
back to that.
Velvishwad's life story, man, of how good and
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
he was.
No, I'm
Let's-
just saying, do you remember?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
gets,
Let's
to know.
Christ's sake,
But that
man,
is
it's
a
getting- it's
damning
getting-
fact.
Marshall,
2 minutes left,
it's-
Andrew.
it's all right
2 minutes
for
left,
you.
bro.
It's still light where you are. It's getting darker where we are.
I have to go too. Don't worry, I have to go too. But I just this is a fun fact that I had to
Come on,
like.
man,
There's
Big
something
Andrew
with
puts
this
electricity.
It's too cold to go out anyway, Andrew. Come on, man.
Oh,
Just-
yeah, but Kai, I didn't. Kai,
Let's talk about my life.
In the past
So
25 minutes. we
No,
haven't
no,
spoken
let's not talk
Hey,
about your
hey,
life.
it's the
You-
March
you
of
wanna-
Wednesday
you
in
wanna
the
know
cold
what's
rainy
funny?
night in
What's
the
gonna be
hospital.
Listen.
When the sun
Boys.
sets, the Andrew room goes pitch black.
Let's
Yeah.
let's
And that's
try.
why I
Okay.
said
That,
no.
when we finish, the trees behind Andrew are gonna be like, oh, and have no leaves left, bro. It will be a winter.
Let's continue.
We
continue.
lose 2 minutes in
Consistently
25
slow
minutes.
starts for Klopp's side. As for the attack, losing Sadio Mane is becoming the talk of the Premier League, and I think that absolutely has something to do with some of their struggles. Of course, when you lose a player like that, it's going to affect you. But Darwin Nunez was always going to need time to settle as well. You've seen plenty of misses from him as he is slow on confidence, just as he was with us at Benfica. And you have also seen glimpses of just how dangerous he can be. Mo Salah is also seemingly out of form, looking a shadow of himself. He still has 5 goals and 4 assists, which is not bad, right? But he hasn't scored from open play in the
Why
Premier
did you choose this picture of my day?
Oh, why did you use this picture, bro?
Hey, Marshall
Yeah,
moved
That's
this,
a fantastic picture.
make it croppable.
Oh, Salah's been
That's
doing
That's the
these
kind of
it's-
picture that
it's
Rory
online.
would take.
You
bro.
can get it
That's
online.
the kind of picture that Rory would take. Right? Rory likes this kind of shorts, man.
I thought this was a
Liverpool
Twitter
wish
meme,
they
you
had
know?
Salah back in the days when they wore that kind of a kit. Jesus Christ.
I thought that
Oh
was
my God.
genuinely a Twitter meme, you know? You know when this
No,
is Salah
this
versus
is what he
Blooming.
looked like in the third kit, Salah. The one I just put on my profile pic. This is what he looked.
Oh my.
Okay.
All right, let's continue,
We're
boys.
nearly there.
Premier League since August 22nd, his last goal there. Well, he managed to score against Ajax 1 month ago on September 13th. Just 4 matches ago, not the worst, but not a great turnout from him, and a symptom of the struggles they're having in general. So there are seemingly problems across the park. The biggest ones, in my opinion, are just how mortal their previously airtight defenses looked. The midfield, which was so strong with Fabinho at the heart of it, has seen Klopp rather change to a 2-man midfield and has seen his team suffer because of that as well. So that's on coaching. And in the attack, a mix of losing personnel and having some still settling or completely out of form, that doesn't help either. And here's a big one that could come with the sort of lack of intensity or composure or focus. I think that there is also the mental aspect. They were having a ridiculous season last season where they could have won the quadruple, if not for A, having to face a Guardiola team who have lifted the average amount of points needed to win the league to simply ridiculous levels. They're serial winners there. And B, facing their old Champions League finals foes, Real Madrid, again, serial winners, and losing to them once again. That feeling of doing all that you can, putting in a great performance all season long, and still not being good enough for a couple of trophies.
What?
I said, people in the chat, F in the chat, you know? F in the chat to Liverpool, bro, for Liverpool.
Bro, that statement was all shoulda, coulda, woulda, man. If John
I
Terry
know,
never slipped, he would have had 3
Oh,
UCLs, man.
Rafi, what is this? No, don't put me in Redmond TVs at the same time. Oh,
All right, let's finish this off because I do have a few points I want to point
they
out. that
gave
he
Jordan
mentioned there.
Henderson a 7 rating against Arsenal, more than Thiago.
Let me continue.
Has got to be a defeating feeling, and there will no doubt be some fallout. We saw this happen with this Dortmund side as well, the mental fatigue affecting them. Oh, or they might be cursed. Right, I forgot about that. So thanks for watching, guys. It's greatly appreciated, and I hope
All right, ladies and gents, that's Rabona TV's analysis on Liverpool and why they've been doing bad. So make sure you check out the link below to the original video and show them some support. I think for the most part, Velbashan, I think you can agree, is pretty relatively fair assessment. I will say at the end though, he did say Salah's bad form. Is it bad form, or is it that he's been playing a different role than he did last season?
Yeah, it's a different role that. I think I need to clear this up. It's not because of Nunes. People need to stop it. It's because of Nunes, because he was still doing it against Man United in those games where Nunes wasn't playing. So it's a myth where people say he's been asked to do the creative role, a touchline winger, and I think that's the reason why Trent has been able to do his attacking role, because when he's become the creator, he's now taken away from Trent. So Trent has been viewed this season as a defender rather than a creative attacking player. So this new system is not working for Salah. And recent games where we played him back as an inside forward looked so much better. Against Arsenal, even though he didn't score, he looked more better than he usually did. The games where he has scored, he looked more better. So it's just like we need to keep it that way. Like keep him as an inside forward, because his first job is a goal scorer. The rest is a bonus for him. His creativity, his passing, his dribbling, that's a bonus. His priority is to score goal, and that's what we need. He got a hat-trick against Rangers. I'm happy. I'm hoping this is the stepping stone he needs so he can score against City tomorrow. Same with Nunes. He got a goal. Same with Firmino. And yeah, Jota has yet to score, but Jota's creativity has been massive. So yeah, it's just we need to keep doing our old ways in attack, and then just pray in it. Just pray that the midfield will do his job, and then the defense will defend. But the only big person we need on his A game is Alisson. Alisson is literally, if we get top four, just give Alisson the player of the PFA player of the season, because without him we'll be.
You're saying that because you know you guys are gonna get touched, man. You know Holland is gonna have like a time of his life.
As he's eating his pretzels right now.
Here's the thing.
Christmas edition,
If we lose, but we don't let Haaland score, then we won the game. I don't care. We won the game if Haaland doesn't score.
Imagine Velvish, what would you do? What would you do? What would that do to your state of mind? Yeah, if he scores a hat trick and he does that yoga pose in Anfield,
I'll be there to fucking pitch and fade and drop kick him in his head.
You'd be devastated, bro. You'd be like, oh shit, this guy's embarrassing us. But
I'm not surprised. He scored against us before at Anfield. The only time he didn't score was away, and that's where Dejan Lovren actually pocketed him.
Wait, Velvish, did you say that Nunes is gonna outscore Haaland this season? Were you one of those Liverpool fans who got happy over the?
Oh my days!
And I will pull out the sheets if you say no.
I don't remember saying it. If there is, then I must be pretty stupid.
I take that as a confirmation of yes. Yeah.
Oh my days!
I don't remember saying that. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Well,
so George Bush don't remember. Yeah, it's basically a yes.
Oh no! The only thing I just guaranteed is Salah's gonna win the Golden Boot. That's what I remember saying. Salah winning.
It's like Arsene Wenger. I didn't see it. I was not there.
This stream went from wanting to laugh at Liverpool to I just feel bad.
Sympathize with Liverpool, you know. Like
I sympathize with Liverpool fans.
He gave us a sad background story, bro.
Liverpool lives matter, bro. That's what I got from this.
Revisionist Liverpool history right now. Jesus Christ. Oh my good. Oh my days. But ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. Hopefully you enjoyed the reaction. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on why Liverpool have been shite. Is it just Trent Alexander-Arnold, or is it more than that? But thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you again tomorrow after the Man City game and Liverpool game. We'll be streaming after the Man City and Liverpool game, not after the Chelsea game. So be sure you are staying tuned to that. But until then, you guys in the chat and everyone watching, stay casual, and we'll catch you again soon. Peace.